everybody, and welcome back to Little House of the Dragon, a Puttin on Air's sister podcast, because this is my sister. Hey, what's your name?
Kirby.
That's Kirby. I'm
the Lady Kirby, obviously.
Exactly, the Lady Kirby. We are in our very, very professional, super expensive outfits today. I'm Corey Ryan Forster. You may also know me as Professor Cho on the regular Puttin on Air's podcast. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but this past week's Puttin on Air's episode is the first time I announced that I was going to be a father.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we'd recorded it 6 or 7 weeks ago or something, and we were in the middle of talking, me and Trey, and I'd been drinking, and I started to be like, well, now that Amber's, and I was like,
yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, when's this coming out? And Trey was like, September, blah, blah, blah. I go, it's fine, she's pregnant. So, yeah, everybody in the world knows that we've got the heir to the Forster dynasty.
Yes.
As it were. So, we're happy that you're here. Remember that you could get these episodes early and completely ad-free at parttimefunnyman.com. I know probably this is the first time you're hearing parttimefunnyman.com. If you're familiar with CoreyWritesForYou.com, it's the exact same thing. It goes to the same website. I'm transitioning to parttimefunnyman.com because it is my goal and dream to stay at home with my child for the first couple months or year, so I'm trying to be more of a stay-at-home comedian. So you can find a lot of cool things at parttimefunnyman.com. It's $5 a month for a subscription, but if you can't afford that, you can just email me at buttercreamcorey@gmail.com, and I will comp you. No questions asked. It don't matter. Just holler. And now, though, because this is Little House of the Dragon, and this is episode 4, which is
King of the Narrow Sea.
Here is Lady Kirby and Lord Corey with a full episode breakdown. So, I don't know how much time has passed, frankly, maybe you do, but we open up and Rhaenyra is in the throne room somewhere, and she is about to pick her suitor, correct?
Yes, and I don't think any time had really passed, but yeah, she's about to pick her suitor. Then
it's just a bunch of old dudes. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
And then some little boy that just kills another guy because the guy called him a "see you next Tuesday."
Yeah, which for the record will probably be our kill of the week. We go back to Dragonstone, and Daemon has come back with sort of his Brie Larson Captain Marvel haircut that I really like.
Yeah.
You, me.
We're not back at Dragonstone. We're back at King's Landing.
Okay, fair.
The king's like, all right, bro, we're bros, we're good.
Yeah.
Daemon gives him his crown, and he's like, you know what, they called me the King of the Narrow Sea, but I bend the knee to you, bro.
Right, then they get drunk in the yard. Viserys is very drunk. Yada, yada, yada. Daemon and Rhaenyra end up waddling down to a den of filth.
Yes, they do.
They go down to a den of filth. Rhaenyra gets to pose as a commoner, as does Daemon. She takes in a play, dinner and a show, as it were, and then goes to her first brothel. So,
as any girl and her uncle would do.
Why wouldn't you? She almost hooks up with Daemon. She does hook up with Sir Criston. Then we come back and
Otto tells on her because he had a little spy. Tells on her. The king's like, no. Well, confronts Daemon. Daemon's like, yeah, what about it?
I don't know.
Why can't I'll marry her?
What you heard?
Yeah. I don't know what you heard, but I'll marry her. Viserys is like, no, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get on the throne. Ain't happening. We cut to the king confronting Rhaenyra about it, and she denies it. And then at the end of the episode, a maester comes in with an abortion tea.
Yeah. That people were calling it Plan T.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one. That's good, yeah. Turns out King Viserys is pretty progressive.
Absolutely. So that's what happened lightning round style in this week's House of the Dragon. And we'll be right back after this with more episodic breakdowns.
Lord Corey, who's your favorite character?
My favorite character in Game of Thrones is hard to pick because I really want to say the Hound, but I don't know if I'm just saying that because he had such iconic lines and he said the worst of the words in the best of the ways. There's part of me that kind of wants to say Jamie just from a character standpoint because he's the most complex character. Like, he turns from heel to babyface in the blink of an eye, and it's like you don't want to root for him, but for some reason you're rooting for him, and then sometimes you're rooting for him, but you don't want to be rooting for him. It's very weird and complex, and then sometimes I want to say that it's Tyrion because he's so witty and he's so intellectual, and it's almost like he was designed as a character to be everybody's favorite character. But then sometimes I want to say Bronn because Bronn is like the closest to someone that I've actually met in my real life. Bronn is like the biggest redneck on Game of Thrones. He is completely comfortable with telling you that every single thing he does is completely 100% selfish. He's only out for himself. He will absolutely sell his soul to the highest bidder. And at the end of the day, he just wants a beer and a woman and a fight. I also kind of want to say that it's insert a female character here so that everybody doesn't think that I'm sexist for picking only the men. I do love Arya. She's got such tenacity to her. But at the end of the day, I'm a dude, so I relate more to the dudes. So I think that if I've got to vote between all of those, I'm going to go with, right now, top of my head, Bronn is my favorite character.
Okay, but who should have ended up on the throne?
Who I think should have been on the Iron Throne? This might be completely out of left field for a lot of people, but my prediction was that it was going to be Lord Varys. That's who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the Master of Whispers, the Spider-Man himself. There's so many times, especially when you re-watch the show. I think the first time I saw the show, I was genuinely bought into his whole BS of like, everything I do is to serve the realm, my lord. But then you start watching the show back and it's like, man, all these moves were clearly a guy just wanting everyone to believe so badly that he had their best interest at heart when he was really pulling the strings for himself. There's also that scene where him and Baelish are sitting there talking and Baelish is like, you don't seem to want anything. You don't want a woman or a man. What else can a man want? And then Varys looks over at the throne as if to say, that is my ultimate goal, your Lord Baelish. I am not a lord, although some people do call me that, and I will not refuse them. I just love the show. Well, speaking of the show, let's get back to the regular show. Here's our breakdown of the first couple scenes. Hope you're enjoying it. So the king promised, and it's finally coming to fruition. Rhaenyra is actually getting to choose her suitor, and oh, how many suitors there were.
Yeah, there's a long, long line of them. I'm sorry, like the Brits say, a queue.
A queue. Yeah, also somebody tweet today, they were like...
The queue was long.
But queue is the most perfect word because it's... The first one is the important letter, and then followed in a line right behind it are silent letters that don't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a Q.
There you go.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, gotta tell you, as much as I love my girl Rhaenyra, and as much as I think that she's probably inarguably a feminist icon, little ageist, if I had to say.
And it's so funny. So this old man's like, I can do good for you. Like, you'll be, the best lady ever.
I'll be your crying shoulder.
Yeah, and like, she like makes fun from being old. And like, why did I feel bad for him? He's like so old and she's like 16. And I'm like feeling bad for him because she made fun of him.
Because... we have to put ourselves in this world, and in this world, a 16-year-old marrying the old guy is like perfectly normal and acceptable and fine. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's the king is the king has the same age gap.
Yeah,
like he's only. I think she said he's only 2 years older than her dad.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm not saying that you are totally cool with Alicent and Viserys' romance, but you definitely at least accept it and don't run around talking about how it's gross and making fun of this poor man who just wanted to give you, a yard and a mule or whatever it is.
Yeah, a ship, I guess.
And then, complete opposite end of the spectrum, a little boy comes up. I felt bad for him too.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was precious.
He was. I don't remember his name. I just know he was from the Blackwoods.
Yeah.
And he has this rehearsed speech that I'm assuming.
Was it Sam?
I don't know, maybe.
Who knows?
He has this rehearsed speech that I'm assuming his mom or dad wrote, and he's like practiced it the whole way to wherever they were doing this. Where were they at doing this?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? He does this like big old speech. Well, then like the high school bullies there.
Yeah.
And just
Roger
like,
Klontz.
Yeah, I mean, literally just starts making fun of him. Everyone starts laughing. I feel bad for the kid. He calls the kid a "see you next Tuesday," which, you know, uncalled for.
It was uncalled for, but it was so funny because I didn't see that. It's not like in this show you shouldn't see that type of language coming, but I didn't, and it was just so brash and like.
Well, you don't feel like it's going to come in a funny way.
A funny way, or towards a child. Even though my man the Hound certainly called man, woman, child, or baby that was his word. So he makes fun of the kid, and then we do a cut scene, and the camera's reversed, and we look back, and the kid is like taking the blade out of this dude.
Oh yeah.
As in he's clearly a very accomplished little swordsman, a water dancer, if you will. Mm-hmm. But it happened again, just like Damon dragging Prince Drahor. Just like him dragging him out of the cave. They didn't let us see the whole thing. Like,
you saw
maybe
it,
it's
like,
cooler.
come out or whatever, but
it definitely made it a cooler cut to where it was just like, oh, what now? What now? Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. It would have been really awesome to see that kid actually, throw bows with homie. So Rhaenyra, at the end of this whole courtship speed dating session that she's on, doesn't find her suitor.
And she cuts the tour short.
Completely short.
Like, she wasn't supposed to be heading home yet. And she's like, no, I'm done.
I have seen too many old dudes, and all they want is my body and my dragons, and they're old. So, Rhaenyra still hasn't found her soulmate.
Has not. Oh, and by the way, like right after that, when she's on her way back to King's Landing, one of the dragons, I think it was Caraxes, I think I read that online, just like whooshed over the boat and like almost knocked her out. And I kind of like, I don't know what the was he like playing? Was he like almost like a dog like playing fetch or something, like playing, or was he like, I'm mad at y'all, I'm gonna hit your boat?
That's the bad part about the great part about having a dragon is that they're dangerous fire breathers that you can basically use as a tank. The bad part about having them though is if you're only at the time using them as a mode of transportation, like a Ford Explorer doesn't have a mind of its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can just drive your car. If the dragon wants to do some dragon stuff, the dragon's going to do some dragon stuff, and you can't. What's their other, like, all I know is Dracarys that makes them breathe fire. What is, like, sit or stop?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for everything because literally there's just languages in this show, which is just
I was thinking about that.
To me.
I was thinking about that around this scene because they were talking in Valerian or whatever. Like, do you think at any of the points the actors actually messed up a word and they were like, "I'll probably get away with it," and then George R. R. Martin came in and he was like, "That is not it."
Probably. Probably.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, probably. Like, he knows all. It's insane.
Okay, so Rhaenyra doesn't find a suitor. A dragon pulls an O.J. Simpson and runs wild on the highway. And next scene.
Well, next thing, they're at King's Landing in the Red Keep, and like all the royal court, I guess, they've all gathered because they heard that Daemon's on his way. They're all showed up. Rhaenyra, you can tell, is just like, Daemon's coming, because everyone knows she has a thing for him.
Of course.
So he shows up, new hair, who dis?
Oh yeah. He does, and for the record, and as a bald man, it really upsets me the times when I notice how much hair matters, because people, they're like, oh, hair don't matter. It's like, look how much hotter Matt Smith is just by getting it cut a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also, have you ever seen the guy who plays Lord Varys in real life?
Yeah,
you would not recognize him, and he doesn't when he's bald, he looks so round and just bulbous. But when in real life, when he's got hair, he's got the same face, but it's like framed because he's got hair. So, anyways, Matt Smith comes in looking like a hybrid of Carol Danvers and Lady Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, Lady Brienne.
Doesn't he look kind of like Lady Brienne?
Yeah. So he gets there, he walks up, he's got his little crown, he puts it down. He's like, you know what, the Stepstones peeps, they said that I'm the king of the Narrow Sea, but I bend my knee only to you, bro. Mm-hmm. And he's like,
I ain't about that life.
Yes, and there's this awkward pause, like, what's he gonna do? And he's like, oh, you know what? Viserys is like, I love you, brother. Yeah. And they hug, and everyone's like, oh, the brothers have united, everything is cool. And then after that...
No way anything could go wrong here.
Yeah. Nothing could go wrong. Then after that, they all...
You got mascara.
Oh, no. Get it.
Does that hurt?
No. Has it been got yet?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You're just... I got it.
I was rubbing it in to make more of like a smoky eye.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So afterwards, they're having like a little reception, and Viserys and Daemon are obviously drunk.
Oh, Viserys is like... But this is a different type of drunk for Viserys, so... We saw in the last episode him being the sad, moping, listen to the Smiths drunk. And in this one, he is I love all my homies. You're all great, man. We should spend more time together, bro.
Viserys, he's just trying to live.
He's a good guy, I think. Like, again, and I know I say I beat it to death every episode, but, like, that's why he's gonna get stabbed in the back by somebody.
And what's funny is, like, he's not asking for much.
He's really not.
He really is just like, I just don't want my brother to bang my daughter.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to chill.
And if my daughter could just get married to a nice boy, that would be great.
Just continue the line, like, let's all just live. Like, I'm not asking for much. Why is everyone just all up on me? That's literally, the Ben Affleck meme where he's just, like, got the cigarette and he's like...
It's like, Dunkin' Donuts is closed.
Yeah, the meme is like Viserys just trying to live. and then he just is trying just to live, and everyone is just, God, making it so hard on him.
They just won't let him, man.
They will not.
They just, because you're right, by comparison to how complicated most things in Westeros are, he literally just was like, can we just be a family?
Can we just be?
Can we just be? What else happens in that scene?
Rhaenyra and Daemon, they go off and have their little, one-on-one time, and he's talking about how he misses home and how, something about having a baby, and she said that, like, his wife was lucky not to have his baby, and he was like, well, I don't think that we could have a baby in such a hostile environment or something like that. And there's just this little... There's some tension.
Just an air of just kind of awkwardness.
Yeah.
Is this Awkward Turtle? Is this Awkward Turtle?
I think.
And this is Awkward Moose?
Yeah, I know that's Awkward Moose.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about Turtle.
Awkward Stag for this show.
Maybe that's Turtle.
Okay, Awkward Turtle, Awkward Stag for this show.
Okay, yeah. So that happens. Rhaenyra just, like, in her room, and then she finds this little piece of paper. It was from Daemon. It was like a map to, like, a secret door, like, hey,
do you love me? Check yes or no from Daemon.
Basically.
Yeah.
It was a little map, like, saying, here's how you escape the Red Keep. Yeah. And he left some clothes out for her, like, put this on.
Here's some crotchless panties. Meet me at the whorehouse.
Meet me at the whorehouse. So he's like, put this on, let's go. She leaves, meets up with them, and they're in disguise. And it reminds me of the Kermit meme.
Yeah.
When he's just got the thing. Oh, so funny. Well, so they head out to, they go see a play, just seeing a little culture in the streets.
Yeah.
Then naturally he takes her to
I would like to talk about the play a little bit. They get a taste of what other people think about them because they, people that are in, royals, they're in this complete bubble. And, like, you remember in Game of Thrones, they were constantly telling, what was Daenerys' brother? Rhaegar?
Viserys.
Right. They were always, they toast you in the other round. And it's like they believe all this stuff because that's all they're told. And then they get to go out here and they see themselves being depicted.
Totally made fun
of.
And
which, like, I love that they do that because that is totally how it was in, like, medieval England. There were the jesters and stuff. But, like, doesn't it kind of seem like in the Game of Thrones world those people would be very, very scared to like satirize.
I mean, I
not
would
Viserys.
think so.
He's cool, but like you wouldn't want to do that to Joffrey because he'd just come through there and be like, "I don't like the play. Off with his head."
I know. I think that too. But it's just like how last episode I was very, surprised about all the women just like questioning Viserys' reign,
Yeah,
just
right.
like right beside him. But yeah, no, they see this play, and basically she finds out that the general consensus in the realm is they want Aegon to be the heir. No one wants her.
They pull out they made a weenie out of rope, like a rope weenie.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, it don't even have a weenie. And he pulled him, oh, look, it's a weenie rope.
Yeah, and Damon's like, just showing you what everyone thinks.
Yeah, right.
And so
I wish you had a rope wiener.
Naturally, after that, he takes her to a brothel, which is just...
And just conveniently, everyone in the brothel had abs and perky boobs.
I couldn't see abs because it was...
I just meant they were, like, nobody was, like, there was no... Nobody looked like me in there.
I just mean that I basically saw a silhouette of a person because it's so dark.
Oh, I saw somebody, like, if you watch it again, there's somebody, I won't say on what, but munching down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah, no.
like, it seemed pretty modern, you know what I'm saying? Something I didn't know they did back in the ancient days.
Yeah, so basically, it's a tale as old as time, though.
Oh, it is. It's as they say, it's the oldest profession.
Yeah, so basically, they have a moment...
Which I don't think that it's the oldest profession, because how then did the man afford to pay her? He had to have been doing something first.
Just gave her a goat.
Perfect.
Gave her a goat.
So...
They have a moment, and then I saw online where someone said, oh, well, he backed off because...
Okay, go ahead.
Someone said he backed off because he realized that, like, she was into it. I'm like, no, he backed off because he realized he had his moral compass, like, no, this is wrong.
Okay.
I'm supposed to back off.
Okay, and that's fine that that's your opinion, and that's my opinion too, but this is a perfect scene in, like, you remember the movie Doubt with Philip Seymour Hoffman, where it's like, did this priest do this or did
Yeah.
that scene was shot in a similar way to where it's like, anyone that wants to make the argument, no, he backed off of her because she wanted to do it, and he's used to holding women down and forcing them to do it. I could see that being a valid argument.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that it is him being like, oh my God, I've fantasized about sleeping with my niece, but now that we're actually about to do it, like, it's a little too close to home. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I think that we're at a crossroads here to where either one of those can be true, and what happens in the next episode will determine which one of those it was.
I'm just a Damon stan, so whatever, like, paints him in the best light is, like, what the road I'm going down.
Well, see, I love him too, but I love him as a villain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Jaime Lannister was, like, I don't know, maybe my second favorite character, but I never defended anything he did. I knew he was horrible. I just enjoyed watching him because he played the most complex guy. I think Daemon is going to end... I mean, for the love of God, these are the Mad King's ancestors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be some... He's not going to turn out to be some sort of Ned Stark dude. And I love Matt Smith. And when I look at Matt Smith, like, it took me a while to get over... It's like, okay, that's not Doctor Who. You know what I mean? And then he becomes Philip, and he's slowly morphed into, like, this animal. But I don't know. I think with that one, you're not stupid to believe either of the things. It's one of the few things on the internet that, like, I could go, okay, I see either way.
Yeah. Whatever. I agree, but I'm right.
Okay, so that's the brothel.
Yeah, that's the brothel.
So Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra? Is it?
I don't know.
Are we just pronouncing it wrong?
I don't know. Tomato.
Okay. Rhaenyra does not make the beast with two backs with her uncle, despite wanting to very much, but she does take to the bed someone that we've been shipping, obviously, since the jump, Sir Criston Cole.
Yes.
My daddy.
Yes. Yeah, she gets back. They, make Whoopi one of Otto's spies.
Yeah, his little whisperers.
Yeah. Comes in, tells him about her and Daemon, Fleabottom.
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 Yeah. Otherwise known as the other side of the tracks.
Yes. it's a little boy, which I rewatched the show and I tried to look for the little boy.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I couldn't see him. But Otto tells the king about it. The king don't believe it. He's like, no, there's no way, blah, blah, blah. Alicent is listening in on this conversation. And
from the other side of like one of those four-sided changing things that they have at like
changing
Abercrombie.
Screen or something. She confronts Rhaenyra about it the next morning. Rhaenyra's like, no, I swear on my dead mom.
Do not sully my name with these accusations of filth.
Meanwhile, Emma's like...
I mean, listen. True, you didn't do it. Mm-hmm. True, you didn't do it.
Yeah,
but not because you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you at least made out with him.
I was about to say, and like, frankly, I'm sorry, but if hypothetically, my kid or niece or whatever, I found out they made out with their uncle, I'm not saying I'd be as upset as if they did the whole thing, but like, pretty rageful.
Yeah, not
both
happy.
Both of them.
Yeah, not happy. So she denies it. She's like, no, it didn't happen. Then the king confronts Daemon, and Daemon just like...
He didn't try to deny it.
No,
at
he's
all.
proud.
He was just like, bro, we're Targaryens. You know how we do.
Yeah. And Viserys is like, you ruined her. And he was like, I'll marry her, bro.
Yeah, I don't care. What do you mean
ruined
her?
I'll take her as is.
Yeah.
Which, you as the audience, you think, okay, is it because he really wants her, or is it because he's trying to, like, be on the throne?
I was about to say, I mean, this helps his claim. It's like, all right, they've got little Aegon, but now it's like, oh, two former heirs are together. I could see the realm being like, hey, that would hit for us.
Yeah,
we would like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
And the claim is it's so funny that, like, a claim should be, like, cut and dry. It's like, you're the, like, but it never is.
Yeah, all these people have claims. Yeah,
and it's like, no, it's whoever the king wants.
Yeah. So,
what the point is of being a king if you can't just be like, this?
Exactly. So he banishes Daemon. He's like, get out of my sight, bye. And then... cut to the king confronting Rhaenyra about it. She denies it. She's like, it's not true. If I was a guy, you wouldn't be saying anything. And he's like, well, I know, but you're a woman. Then,
like, you're right. But is that the case? Because other than that, I'm going to treat you like the situation calls for.
Yeah, exactly. So the king confronts Rhaenyra about it. And she gets all mad, and he's like, you know what? Like, you're going to... I know that I told you can marry who you wanted, but you're going to marry Laenor.
I'm glad someone's driving a lawnmower down the road.
Yeah, for real.
My God.
You're going to marry Laenor Valerian.
Mm-hmm.
Valerian, yeah, the sea snake's son. And you're going to like it.
Little boy sea snake.
Yeah, and she's like, you know what? I'll do it. But you have to fire Otto. Mm-hmm. Because obviously Otto was spying on me.
Right.
So I'll do it if you do that.
And even if I did do the thing that you said that I did, it don't hit for me that little Lord Hand is out there looking at me doing the things that you thought I did.
Exactly. He, confronts Otto about it, and just, it was kind of heartbreaking. Like, obviously Otto's
you felt
the
bad
worst.
For Otto?
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, but at the same time, Otto didn't do anything wrong here. Like, that is what the Hand of the King does. Mm-hmm. Like, Viserys needs to know when his daughter is being a little trollop. I'm not saying that for the record. I'm saying that in this situation, that's what she's being. I think you should be able to bang whoever you want. I'd prefer them not be related to you, but like, you get what I'm saying. This is information privy to the king, or it ought be. So this is one instance of Otto actually doing the right thing and getting axed for it.
Yeah. So he fires him. He's good to his word with Rhaenyra. Like, you know what? Obviously, it's important for him to marry. He wants her to marry Laenor so bad that he's really willing to fire his hand.
Right.
Fires him. Cut to Rhaenyra just chilling in her bedchambers, and the maester comes in with the plan tea.
Would you like some little smashing tea?
Yes. So that was it. That was the episode. Mm-hmm. How many dragons do you think?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot. And we've basically given every episode except the pilot episode 5 dragons, and that one we gave 4.5 dragons. And because of that, I'm having to slide the scale a little bit. For this episode, I'm going to go with 4 dragons, and here's why. I did love it. I thought it was a great episode. There were some funny moments. There wasn't as much action.
Yeah.
It was one of those episodes where I don't know, and I love dialogue. I'm a dialogue guy, but there was only one murder, and they didn't even show it.
There was, that was
and
the
it
most...
was that bull, and it was that bull, and again, that's totally fine. It's just that I come to this show for nudity and murder. Now, it had a lot of nudity. Mm-hmm. They were covering up the Bahuzabas a lot, which I didn't care for.
Like I said, it was just like dark on my screen.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's so many times where I just can't see anything because, like, every single movie and TV show now is just like the darker and the grittier, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna need some lighting because I already kind of can't see. My eyeballs don't hit. But I'm gonna give it 4 dragons. But that's still a great score. I mean, this is out of 5 dragons. It's just there wasn't enough murder, not enough action for me.
Not enough actual flames, dragon flames.
I saw somebody on Twitter say, "Oh yeah, we need to do that." By the way, I saw somebody on Twitter say that it was the closest to an episode of Gossip Girl that Game of Thrones has ever done.
True.
And you're a Gossip Girl person, so
I love Gossip Girl. Love XOXO.
Now we're going to do something that we've not ever done before on Little House of the Dragon. We are going to go to, what should we call this segment?
I don't know.
Memes.
I was thinking like memes of Westeros.
Memes of Westeros.
Mesteros.
Yeah, that ain't it.
Yeah, I should have thought about this.
I know, we both should have. Dragon bragging? No. The Reddit keep? No. I'll figure something out and put it in post.
He did not figure it out.
So
you saw some memes this week.
Oh, God, so many.
Did you get on Twitter?
I've usually been seeing, like, BuzzFeed articles. Like this one, Ben Affleck with the cigarette. And he's like, Viserys after another week of having Rhaenyra for a daughter, Daemon for a brother, and Otto Hightower as a best friend. Like, he's just
so worn out.
Rhaenyra, I swear it upon the memory of my mother. Meanwhile, Emma. The guy with his hands on his hips. She's just
looking down from heaven.
Yes, like, excuse me. Okay.
Oh, wait, does that show
where it was from?
Yeah, that one doesn't.
No,
I'll give credit to where credit is due on all the ones that have it.
This one is off Twitter at SweetPete423. He said, Daemon taking Rhaenyra out in King's Landing. Be a slut. Do whatever you want. Burkay on Twitter. Rhaenyra, this is a vile accusation.
And that is what is, for those people who don't know, that is the conceited meme.
Oh, is that what it's called?
It's called the conceited meme.
Yeah, okay, well.
And that is...
This segment right here, this should be a huge encouragement for you to get on the YouTube channel and watch us.
Yeah, this is definitely better being viewed, as are a lot of things on Puttin.
Yeah, because, I mean, I can't...
That is probably me and Trey's, like, thread, the most used meme amongst us all. Like, if I text Trey, I'm taking it easy this weekend, I'm not really drinking, he'll send that back in response, like,
This is one of my favorites. Lawrence Juma off Twitter. Rhaenyra swears on her mother that Daemon didn't touch her. Us. And it's just... and look, it's the eyebrow. Look how perfect it's lined up.
That is perfect. Yeah, see, you gotta get Twitter for stuff like this. You're on Facebook. Facebook is gross.
Daemon after kissing Rhaenyra once. In the wedding dress.
Is that James Corden in a wedding dress?
Yes. So funny. He didn't touch Rhaenyra. He didn't touch me. Us viewers.
Yeah, it's wonderful to, right after the episode, just go search the hashtag House of the Dragon.
Viserys doing his best.
Just training. That's the old, if you're just listening, that's the old dude who looks like he's trying to hold in a fart with his vein popping out of his head.
And Al sits at the bottom like... Daemon, when he suggested to Viserys that he marry Rhaenyra, and then it's got Michael Scott, you know what? I'm going to start dating her even harder. Sir Cole connecting the dots as to why she was all hot and bothered that night. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. But they were so funny.
Oh, meme culture. We'll be right back right after this.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Lady Kirby Askew, and you're watching Little House of the Dragon.
So, Kirby, who is your favorite Game of Thrones character?
I'm going to go with Tyrion. I mean, I feel like that's such a basic answer, but he really just steals the scenes that he's in. He's so funny. And smart, too. He's hilarious. Every season, and I think that he basically has a scene with, like, every main character on the show. I know we talked about how Ned Stark and, like, Jaime Lannister never had a scene together, but I'm pretty sure Tyrion has a scene with everybody. Even, you know, Daenerys, he ends up being her hand, and he's just funny. He has a good moral compass, you know. I mean, he's not afraid to do bad stuff, I guess.
Would you have liked to have seen Tyrion on the Iron Throne at the end?
No, because then he'd have to be bad. I think Bran being on it was so stupid. But no, I wouldn't want Tyrion on it, no. My ideal would be Jon Snow being on the Iron Throne. I mean, he had the claim. He's supposed to be.
But then he would be bad too, right? If you go by the Tyrion logic.
Yeah, but also, if you just go by the fact that he was the heir. Like, he's supposed to be on it. And, I mean, I hate that he would probably end up being bad, but he's supposed to be on the Iron Throne. You can't just all of a sudden have a pep rally and just be like, oh, well, we choose Bran the Broken. Like, okay, honestly, I didn't like Tyrion in that moment. When he said Bran the Broken, I was like, oh, okay, that's cheesy. It was stupid. Yeah, but still, though, Tyrion number 1, the Hound number 2. That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Little House of the Dragon. I'm Corey Ryan Forster.
Lady Kirby.
And we really appreciate you. And if you're just listening, remember that you can watch this at watchpoa.com. You would have got it early and ad-free at parttimefunnyman.com. And leave us a 5-star review and all that good stuff. If you think we earned it, it takes you 2 seconds. And it really, 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 really helps us a lot. And also don't forget to go see Trey on tour. You can get those tickets at TreyCrowder.com. Me and Trey will be together October 6th through the 8th in Raleigh, North Carolina. Tickets at both TreyCrowder.com and WellReadComedy.com. I know that I've just thrown a bunch of websites at you, and I'm sorry, but just so you remember, to watch this episode, watchpoa.com. To sign up for my subscription service, parttimefunnyman.com. To go see Trey on tour, TreyCrowder.com. To go see me and Trey on tour, TreyCrowder.com or WellReadComedy.com. We love you, and as always, stay fancy.
See you later, guys.